All right, you guys, welcome to Principles of Applied Engineering and Principles of Manufacturing. This is a quick video about today's lesson. We're going to go on modules, and today is Tuesday. So our lesson for today is a quick Google app tutorial, and we're going to learn the different applications that are out there, part of the Google apps that we will be able to use in our class to maximize this experience. There are 3 different items that are to be completed before midnight tonight. So the very first one is a presentation that will end with a Google Doc that then you would have to work through it and upload over here in this one link, specially designated for this particular assignment. And finally, you will visit this third link, which will enable you to be part of the discussion and share what you learned today about Google Apps. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go to modules, and we are going to open our Google Apps tutorial. You will immediately see this amazing PowerPoint that I prepared for you, and some of you are already logged on and working, and that is amazing. I'm going to go ahead and open this PowerPoint in a different place. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to click here and said open link in a new tab. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go through it. And again, this is a PowerPoint presentation with the intent of learning what are the apps that are available within the Google Suite that will be a valuable resource to this class. What I really need you to do right now is to make sure that you have a separate window and that you are logged on to your Google Drive with your student ID. Once again, welcome, and today we're going to explore Google Apps together. So for this part, I separated 2 slides so that we could talk a little bit about what you already know about Google Apps. Clearly, if you were in class today during a Zoom, you were probably able to interact with me, and you were able to share some of the things that you already know. And I can tell you that some of the things that you guys mentioned is that Google Apps are, particularly Google Docs, is one that is very useful to create documents, to format pictures, to you guys have used slides, and in some classes you've been able to identify the use of Google Forms. Not many of you are experienced with Google spreadsheets, but when I ask you what would you like to learn about Google Apps, many of you responded that you wanted to learn about spreadsheets, but you also wanted to learn whatever it is that is necessary to ensure your success in this class. And this is going to be very basic, but the intention is that you are aware of the things that are there for you to enable you for success. So we're going to watch this video. I'm going to let it run. And for the sake of time, I'm going to let it run. Probably not going to run the whole thing. I'm going to stop it at some point because we only have 15 minutes with this app. But if I stop it at any point, then I'm going to need you to watch the whole thing at home. Going back.
To look at a brief overview of some of the Google apps for education. The Google apps include some very useful computer programs to make learning and teaching more efficient. With a little knowledge, you can easily use these tools in a way that works for your own teaching content and style. So the Google App Suite is similar to the Microsoft Office Suite, which includes Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. There's no doubt that the Microsoft Office apps have more features overall, but the Google Suite's big advantages are that, 1, they're completely free, and 2, Google apps are completely cloud-based. There isn't any software to install, and all files are stored on the internet. As long as you can get online, you have instant access to all of your Google Apps files from any device. And sharing or collaborating with students or colleagues is super easy because all of your work is saved in real time. Your files are live on the internet. So let's take a look at some of the core apps of the Google Suite for Education. Google Docs is a word processing application that helps you write reports, planners, or any kind of text. It's easy to format your documents with different fonts and colors, and you can easily add photos from the internet from within the app, resize them, and make your text wrap around them. Students can use Google Docs to create nice-looking documents that are easy to edit and revise. They can also access their documents from any internet-connected device, meaning that they can work at home on the same documents. Teachers can also use Google Docs for planning and collaboration. Sharing with another Google user is very easy, so teachers often use Google Apps to create team documents. It's also possible to insert internet links in Google Docs.
So I'm going to stop it right there. I'm going to go back. And so one of the things that you are going to learn in this class is that we are going to use a lot of Google Docs that are embedded with hyperlinks. And what I like to call hyperlinks are those links that will allow you to go from place to place on the web. And so that is one of the things that you're going to be able to see and learn in this class. Another point that he just made is the fact that you can share and you can collaborate together, whether it's with another student, group of students, or with myself. He's also going to talk to you about how you can create slides, and you can embed the videos in your slides. You can do animations, and so this is another useful tool. He's going to talk to you about Google Forms. However, I'm going to skip through this because I gave you more information and I'll show you where to go. And finally, he is going to talk to you about spreadsheets. Again, in the way that we're going to use this, it's more like to put in information that you're going to gather in the classroom and within your small groups. So get familiar with your Google Suites so that you can be ready for when it's time to use it. The last item that he discusses is Google Classroom, but we're not going to touch that one because we have Canvas, so we don't need to cover that one. So I'm going to go ahead and click Next. Excuse me. All right. So what I've done is that I've embedded a YouTube video on each one of these items. So these are items that are hyperlinked to another website, to a YouTube video that is going to offer you about between 10 to 15 minutes of a tutorial on each one of the core Google apps that are out there for us. So let's go ahead and get started with our project. So we're going to click here. And so the way this is going to work is that you're going to open this, you're going to click on that file, and it's going to immediately take you to a different doc. And I have given you explicit directions as to what it is that you're going to do. Keep in mind that this project, it will be considered a minor grade. So let's be sure that you actually pay attention and complete this to the T. So it says here that you're going to click File and make a copy of this document, and then you're going to delete this instruction. So I'm going to go ahead and click File, make a copy, and I'm going to go ahead and rename this. And if you remember, the way that you're going to rename this is with your last name, underscore, your first name, and your period number. All right. And then you're going to go ahead and click OK. All right. Once you have done this, you're going to go ahead and delete these instructions because you don't need them anymore. So I'm going to move this up. I'm going to center it. And my next set of instructions says that I'm going to go ahead and set the title, which is this right here, to a 12 font. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right here. I'm going to delete this. I don't need this. Then it says that I'm going to replace the title to this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click or use, I can right click and do copy and paste, or I can use my keyboard and do Control C. After I have highlighted it, I can do Control C. I can come up here and I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste without formatting. And that gave me the same font that I had set before. This is, I'm at a 10-minute mark right now, so I'm going to try to be as fast as possible. This is very self-explanatory. Directions are given to you step by step. So you just have to read the directions and just follow it. What you're going to end up with is your final product will be, just going to show you what your final product will be so that you can have an idea. And this is not it. I want to say that your final product will be something like this. So you're going to end up with a table. Your name, remember, has to be up there. You're going to end up with a table. You're going to end up with a picture. Make sure you read this so that you know what you're going to write. If you are an engineering student, then you're going to pick what it is that you're going to be when you grow up. We're going to pretend that everybody has a goal to be an engineer. And if you are a student in manufacturing, you're going to pretend that everybody has a goal to have a manufacturing career. So you need to figure out what that career is going to be, and that is going to be what you will put on there. When you open the link, that's going to lead you to the slides. I'm going to tell you really quickly that the way that you're going to accomplish this or take a picture is by, if you have a phone, you're going to click on the, I think it's the power and the volume button at the same time, and that will enable you to do a screenshot. If you have a Mac computer at home, you should be able to do Shift, and I believe it's Shift Control or Shift Alt, and then the number 4, and that will allow you to pick the item that you want to capture. If you have a PC, then you should be able to use the snipping tool to take a picture of that item. Then you will click Edit, Copy, and take it back to the document that you're editing and just paste it there. In this case, this is the final product. Finally, you're going to go back to the presentation and you're going to visit the last link over here, which is the icon for the forms, and you're going to listen to that video that is embedded to this. And once you finish listening to that video, then you're going to go back to your paper and you're going to list 5 ways that you're going to be able to use Google Forms in this class. All right. When you are finished doing that, you're going to come back to your Canvas. You're going to click Modules again, and you're going to go to the part where it says Google Apps Tutorial, but it has the icon for the assignment, and that's where you're going to upload your assignment. When you finish doing that, you're going to move on to the next task, which is to partake from the discussion that's on here. Keeping in mind that we already set the guidelines for discussion. So if you don't remember what the guidelines are, then you need to go back to the previous module and review what the expectation is. But just so you know, the expectation is 3 sentences, 3 complete and meaningful sentences that begin with a capital letter and end with a punctuation mark, because we are middle schoolers who are taking a high school level course, and a high school level course that is preparing you for college. So I want you to understand that 3 sentences is really nothing for the amount of work that you're going to be doing. So let's go ahead and start paying attention to what the guidelines are. And that's really what I'm looking for this week, is to see how good you can follow directions and give me what I am expecting of you. So I hope this tutorial helps you to complete this assignment. It is due before 11:59 at midnight. Remember that in this class, there's no failure.